So today we'll be talking about Bong Sau in Chi Sao. Bong Sau, Bong Sau in Chi Sao. Hey, welcome to Practice Wing Chun, where we discuss Wing Chun and answer any Wing Chun training related questions. My name is Edgar, and this is episode 8 of Practice Wing Chun. And today is a beautiful day in New York. It's sunny, it's nice out compared to last week where it was all cloudy and raining and cold. It's so weird. I think New York's the only place where you can experience the entire season, the cycle of the season in one day. It hasn't happened yet, but I feel like it's gonna come soon this winter. But anyway, today I want to talk about Bong Sau in Chi Sao. And Bong Sau is definitely my favorite go-to defense. So when I'm rolling, so in Chi Sao you roll, right? You have one resting hand in Fuk Sau, and you have the other hand in Tan Sau, and then you roll into Bong Sau. So my favorite defense is Bong Sau because I'm already doing it in the roll. So I don't have to do much extra work, I don't have to do much thinking. It's kind of just automatic for me to bring my Bong Sau up if someone tries to attack or try to grab my arm and do a lop sau. So even if they do, what I can do is I can just step in and bump them. So I'm not going to let them take and pull my hand down. And occasionally there'll be times where I just automatically do it, but I just stand there and I just stay static. This is because I'm doing it automatically and I'm probably drifting off when I'm Chi Sauing. And this tends to happen especially when you're Chi Sauing with a live person, and sometimes you're just stuck in your head where you're trying to think, all right, what should I do next? Or is my rolling correct? Am I in proper structure, proper form? And then there's tempo. So tempo is when you're rolling and you're kind of following a beat. My Sifu taught me this neat trick to kind of count the tempo or keep track of the tempo or the pace of which me and my opponent roll. So in my head I play a melody, and I know that once we set a pace, I kind of keep the melody in head according to the pace. And once my opponent goes off beat, that's when I know they're gonna do something. This doesn't mean that I can always defend against what they're doing, but I know when they're gonna strike or do something. I'm still working on it. It's still really interesting to be able to feel when the opponent is gonna do something, and that's already part of the training, right? Sensitivity. So going back to Bong Sau, I love Bong Sau because you could do so much with it. So all right, I'm up here, right? So I can either use this as a point to grab the opponent's arm and lop them and just go straight for a chop. Or I can Tan Sau and just go straight in because I create an opening with that Bong Sau. I can also, what else can I do? I can roll this into a back fist. So if I get close enough, I could probably throw in an elbow. It's just elbow into a back fist. So the thing with Bong Sau is it should never be static, and that's something I have trouble with. As I mentioned earlier, I sometimes drift off when I Chi Sao, and I kind of just leave it there and I don't do anything with it. So with Bong Sau, it shouldn't just be a defense, it should also lead to an offense, so that you're just transitioning quickly from defense to offense. And right now, with my Bong Sau, 50% of the time, it's just static as defense. I don't follow it up with anything. Sometimes, my go-to follow-up is to lop them back and chop them. Or, what else? Or I kind of step in on them, and if my Bong Sau covers both their hands, I pin them and strike. So, offensively, Bong Sau is great because you have this space. It's like my shield. It keeps the distance, but it kind of leaves me kind of exposed in the lower regions. But most of the times if I close the distance, it'll be hard for them to reach it because my body will be much closer to theirs, and the distance between us will not give them a lot of space to do anything to attack my lower regions. So Bong Sau really like gets them in. Now with Bong Sau, I also tend to either raise my Bong Sau too high or too low. So this happens from when you're rolling, you start getting tired, you start feeling it in your shoulders, and you just start getting a little sloppy because you're getting tired. There's not much you could do. You could try to keep proper form, but then you're just focusing on your form that you're missing out on everything else. So once I start raising too high or too low, I usually roll out. Like I roll out. I try not to have as much pressure on my body when I'm starting to get fatigued, because I know that's when I start messing up. But I know if I'm getting tired, so is my opponent. So what I do is once I get the rollover, I just go in and strike, and it's a way of compensating for fatigue, I guess. So I become a little more aggressive, I guess, or more offensive when I start getting tired. But I know that, so yesterday I had class. So my Wing Chun classes are Wednesday and Saturdays. So yesterday, one thing I started doing was, once I started feeling fatigue, and you could tell right away when you're rolling and your shoulder starts like feeling really heavy, I just decided to go soft and just relax more, and just kind of, instead of relying on like powerful defense and strikes, I just kind of like let it flow. This is something that my Sifu has been trying to teach all of us, to just be more gentle, meaning don't use force against force, just use the force and do your thing by redirecting or just going with the motion of the attack. So if they're coming straight at me, I'll let it come, but I'm not gonna be like, ugh, ugh. I'm just gonna let it come, and once I feel the opening, I'm gonna go in. So soft style really helps. It's kind of hard again because I'm a guy. Once I feel force against me, I want to muscle in and be stronger than them and go hard at them. So going soft is really hard. It requires training, it requires practice, actually a lot of practice, and I'm trying to work on that. So even though I like using Bong Sau, if I can just go soft and still keep my form and stuff, but I don't go like Bong so hard, ton so hard, striking hard, things like that. If I just go soft, does the same thing, uses less power, less energy from me. So it's more about just getting the technique correctly, and requires more practice. But practice is great, but when you're with a live opponent, when you're Chi Sauing with them, when you're rolling with them, a lot of things happen because the opponent could be taller than you, smaller than you, they could be more senior than you or more junior than you, and you don't know what to expect from them. They could be very aggressive or offensively, or very defensive where they wait for you to strike. So a lot of these things happen, so you just kind of end up in your head trying to think about all these things and figure all these things out. And this is when I kind of go in my automatic mode, where I just kind of, wherever I feel, I just react to it. And that's good, I guess, in a way, that my body knows the Bong Sau, knows when to Tan Sau, when to Gan Sau, and things like that. But I want to make sure that my energy level should be consistent throughout my entire practice session. I shouldn't just be hard in the beginning and then really tired and soft in the end. I should be a constant energy level, no spikes. That way I conserve energy, have more stamina, and essentially understand the principles better. Because if you're just using energy for everything, yes, strength is great, but strength doesn't last forever. As you get older, your strength, gets weak. You get weaker, you get slower, so you can't always rely on speed and strength. Essentially, all you have left is technique. So you should always focus on technique, proper technique, perfect technique. And this is something my Sifu always says. Perfect practice makes perfect. So yeah, Bong Sau and Chi Sao. I mean, I'm probably gonna talk more about other techniques as well, and we'll probably go over Bong Sau again in the future. But today I just wanted to talk about Bong Sau being used in Chi Sao. So until next time, keep training.